Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great week so far. This week you need to focus on lectures 6 and 7, and if you haven't started keeping a food diary yet, please be sure to do that this week. This is the last week that you have to keep your food diary before you have to come to the computer lab next week to enter your information into the food processor software. You need to keep your food diary for a minimum of 5 days and a maximum of 7 days. And make sure that you watch lecture 3, if you haven't already done so, to get tips on how to keep a food diary. There's also the document on Moodle called Tips on Keeping a Food Diary. And please make sure that you go through all of this information before you start keeping your food diary. You want to go through these tips to make it as easy as possible for you, but also so that it's a meaningful project, so that it makes sense to you and to me, and so that you get a good grade on it. When you come into the computer lab to enter your information into the computer, make sure that you enter in all of your information under one day. You do not need to separate out your meals you don't have to separate it by breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. You don't have to separate it out by days. You could literally start keeping your food diary today and just write down everything you eat or drink. Doesn't matter breakfast, lunch, dinner, or what day it is. Okay, you're going to put it all in at the same time because remember, according to the DRIs, it doesn't matter if you meet the DRIs every single day. We're looking at it over time. That's going to also make it a lot easier for you. It's going to be really hard on you if you have to separate it out between breakfast, lunch, dinner, and between days. So one other main thing is that if you eat the same thing every day, group it together and enter it in as one time. For example, if you eat 1 cup of rice every day for 5 days, then put in 5 cups of rice rather than 1 cup of rice every day for 5 days. So those are the main things. So when you come in, sit down at the computer, and there'll be directions for you to get started. So when you come into the computer lab, sit down at the computer, there'll be directions for you to get started, and make sure that you have your food diary in a good, easy to use format, and we'll be there to help you. My TA, Kimberly Spence, will be there a lot of the time next week. I will be there as much as I can, but I have lots of classes that I have to teach, so I'm not going to be able to be there the entire time. But Kimberly Spence and a couple of the other TAs will also be there at various times. And Kimberly is very well versed with this software and can help you. She's really good at it. Okay, so moving on past the food diary project. Response paper 1 was due Friday at 11:55 p.m. The TA that's grading those, Morgan, she told me that there was quite a few people who submitted them late. If you submitted them late, remember that they're not accepted without a university-approved excuse. So this is the first one. Hopefully you're learning from this experience, but you can submit it at the end of the semester with the one makeup response paper that you have. There's only one makeup response paper allowed, and if you submitted this first one late, or if you missed it, or if you're going to miss another one, you could submit it under the makeup response paper. Okay, also due last Friday, January 24th, was the activity on Moodle called Computer Lab Times. Now about 80 students indicated when they were coming to the computer lab, and I appreciate that. However, so far 30 students have not told me when they are coming to the computer lab. This is extremely important so that we make sure that somebody is in the computer lab to help you, but also to make sure that the computer lab isn't overflowing with people so that you don't have a computer to use. And on the syllabus, it even states that 5 points will be taken off your food diary project per day that you were late on this task. So far, 30 students have already lost 15 points on their food diary project. Now it's not out of 100, it's out of however many points the food diary is, I forget, but like 200 or 250, but still, it's still points taken off of your food diary project per day that you're late on this task. Very simple task. Just look at your calendar, tell us when you could come to the computer lab to input your information into the computer. So make sure that you do that. The next response paper is due Friday, February 14th at 11:55 p.m. Please direct your questions regarding this response paper to the TA named Grace. Her email is on the question prompt. It's on the submission page, and it's also on this weekly update. So if you have questions regarding that paper, please direct them to Grace. Grace was the one that was primarily in charge of writing the assignment. She'll be grading it as well. And so please let her know what questions you have. And if there's anything I can help you with, please let me know. Don't hesitate to ask me. So I guess that's it for now, and if there's anything I can help you with, just let me know. Thanks. Have a great week.